All right, man. Thank y'all for pulling up to the On the Gas podcast. We're your hosts, Rockstar and King. Thank y'all for coming through. Man. Follow us on Instagram, man. Follow me, Rockstar_Plug on Instagram, bro.
You can hit me up on Instagram at King Dewey. Make sure you hit the one with the crown on it because I represent for all the young black kings out there, man. That's dope.
Hey, yeah, man. Make sure y'all check us out on Spotify and the Anchor app too, man. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers right now. That's our next milestone. So please make sure y'all subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Check out all our upcoming podcasts. Make sure you like, comment, let us know anything y'all want to talk about, man. We love having y'all here, man. We on the gas. So tonight, we are gonna be talking about the Mandela Effect. Tell them about the Mandela Effect, cuz.
The Mandela Effect is, in my opinion, is something where I feel like the government is just trying to brainwash.
Think it's the government?
Yeah, I think it's the government basically trying to brainwash us into losing, things that we do remember or switching it around into a position where we thought, we remember something, but our memory just is a little bit inaccurate. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's take it back just a little bit. So, can you explain a little bit on exactly what the Mandela Effect is for people who have never heard of exactly
actually,
what it is?
The
Give some
term,
examples.
The term Mandela Effect actually came from a lady. I can't really remember her name at this present time right now, but it actually came from a lady back in 2013, sometime like that.
That sounds about right.
And basically, she was at this Comic-Con type thing, and it's basically the people that she was talking to out there all had this remembrance that Nelson Mandela died in prison.
That's what a lot of
and come to find out, Nelson Mandela never died in prison. He, got out of prison around
the president of Africa
and became the president of South Africa up until 2013 or something like that. But everyone has this remembrance of him being,
and it's crazy because in school I did a book report on Nelson Mandela, and it was so long ago, but for the longest time I always thought he died in prison myself, and it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I was fucking around, how you'll be on some Instagram and shit, and that's what put me on the Mandela Effect.
Right.
Because it was Nelson Mandela was the president of Africa. He did this, all this shit after he got out of prison. I was and it fucked my mind up a little bit.
And I'm kind of aware of that sense too, because like I say, in school, I had a teacher in the 7th grade, that basically told me, that Nelson Mandela died in prison, so I'm when I heard about it, I'm what the fuck? It's gotta be some type of conspiracy or some shit. But at the same time, it was so many people that had this same remembrance, but they were just trying to say, no, it never happened. This is how it happened.
So that's basically the description of the Mandela Effect.
That's what the term
two large amounts of people. We're talking about thousands millions of people who can remember one event and then remember it in completely different ways.
In two completely different ways from what it's explained. But it gets deeper than that because it started going into things that we remember as children too. You know what I'm saying? As far as things like the Bearstein Bears or the name, they trying to say that name never was the Bearstein Bears. It's always been the Bearstein Bears and some shit like that. And I was
man.
I promise you, it's out there. It's really out there. There's so many sources that will come out and say that never was the name. And it's how, do you change something that was literally on VHS, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
On tape.
Speaking of that, do you know the one about Shaquille O'Neal in the Genie movie?
Yeah.
So basically, what they say about it, everybody remembers it as the comedian Sinbad.
Yeah.
Playing the genie in the Shazam movie, but it was really Shaq. But it's people who will argue you up and down nah, bro, I watched that fucking movie. It was Sinbad. It was a light skinned nigga.
But this is the catcher on that though. Sinbad saying that he never played that character.
But that's what I'm saying.
And Shaq is basically what the fuck ever. He's just quiet about the whole situation. So it's you think about some shit and be okay, well, I know I saw Sinbad as this genie in this movie, and it's now you're trying to tell me none of that stuff ever existed.
I don't know if it was a movie named Shazam, but that nigga played in a movie dressed up like a fucking genie. Yeah. Can't nobody tell me that didn't happen because I remember it. Really I seen it. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember that fucking movie. He had the big fluffy goddamn pants on, light skinned nigga running around, goddamn doing shit. You know what I mean? That shit is crazy.
I know.
Okay, so while we on the movie shit, what about the Star Wars shit?
They're trying to say that Darth Vader guys, they say Darth Vader never said this famous quote that we all know of. Luke, I am your father.
But the crazy part about it, he didn't.
He didn't.
And I didn't know that until you brought it up to my attention earlier, bro. Because I got the Disney Plus app is on my thing. So before I came over here, I went to that exact part in that fucking movie, and he said he didn't say Luke, I am your father. He said some other shit.
Now this is the crazy thing.
But that ain't what he used to say.
That's not what he used to say. See, it's so many people that have this memory of going to this movie theater, sitting down inside of this movie theater, and that's where this famous quote came from. Luke, I am your father. And they say that Darth Vader never said that. He said something totally fucking different. Mm-hmm. And you're even here now saying that it never happened.
I'm not gonna say it never happened.
Well,
because
yes,
up until this point, I believe the same thing. You might up until today, I believe the same thing. Until I went to the Disney Plus, I went to the Star Wars movie, and he was like some completely other shit. He said something on the lines of that, but the way it was worded was completely different.
They trying to say in Snow White that the little witch in the whole thing never said mirror, mirror on the wall. Neither. She said magic mirror on the wall from the whole beginning. But our remembrance.
You think they be changing?
Man, they changing it all up and just not just to fuck with us, but it's for a bigger agenda, I believe, man. I believe it's on a very bigger agenda because if they can brainwash us to a point where we are confused in the things that we know, then imagine what the fuck they'll do with this coronavirus shit. They'll wipe that shit out of everybody's fucking memory, and we'll be like, what the fuck was a coronavirus? Like, everybody from our time would be sitting there like, bro, you know about corona. But they were like, no.
I mean, also on top of that, man, one thing that I don't think a lot of people don't notice that everybody doesn't necessarily experience life the same way.
Right.
And everybody don't remember things the same way. Like, it's been instances like me and my girlfriend been looking at shit and we see completely different colors on shit. Like, some shit might be, like, you don't remember they had this shit going around on Instagram and it was like, do you know the color of this dress and shit? Mm-hmm. And it was like gold, but there's people saying it was blue and all other type of shit. Right. Like, long-ass arguments about this shit.
Right.
So maybe it's just that people are experiencing things different or some shit.
Well, it was actually someone that kind of said what he thought his theory on it was, and excuse me, it's the bubble. But
we on the gas, y'all. You know,
but nah, he actually said that maybe it's in some type of like time traveling type thing. It's like, you sitting in front of the TV about, back on the Nelson Mandela thing. He's saying, what if one day, in time, everyone was sitting there watching on TV and time fast forwarded to the day of his death. In a blink of an eye. And we all saw his death.
So you saying like mass what they call deja vu. Yeah. Like but it's on a bigger scale where it's not one person. It's like everybody is experiencing some shit long before it ever really happened type shit.
Right. And then in the blink of an eye, it all goes back into that one thing, that one time where Nelson Mandela's alive and he's literally, doing things or whatever, but we just fast forwarded into time and actually saw his death. And I felt that shit too. I was like, shit, I believe.
So what you think? What's your theory?
I'm telling you what I think my theory is, cause they are fucking with our brain. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that the Bearstein Bears is the Bearstein Bears. You can't tell me that. You can't. You literally can't. No, I will argue somebody down about.
I mean, that one right there is not as like crazy as the other one, cause that's like pronunciation. That could almost come down.
No. It's not just down to pronunciation. It's down to the writers of the whole thing saying that name never existed in this show at all.
Let me tell you how I know that's some bullshit though. Because when I was in school, we used to have like, you remember when
it was the VHS tape.
No, not even the VHS tape. We used to have a computer. You remember this is when they first started putting computers in school, and they had the old school Apple computers that was like green and pink, and they were on the shit the big ass joint. So they had a Bernstein Bears like a reading game on that motherfucker we used to play, and every time the lady would come on, she would say the Bernstein Bears, this, that, other, and the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. You know what I'm saying? just like that. So either I don't know, man. That shit
it's
crazy, man.
It is. It's fucking weird.
So when you say like you say you think they fucking with people's memories, so how do you think they like explain? Like how do you think they doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Easy. I mean, because for one thing, most of the stuff that we're seeing is through the media. It's all through the television. It's all through recaps of reruns and things. And like you say, certain things could be pronounced different, or we could, be reading it just a little different. But I really think it all boils down to you have 1 million people on, in the middle of their living rooms watching TV all day long. And eventually it becomes that power tool. You know what I'm saying? For your brain.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes that major power tool. So that's where I think it leads from.
They been said the television was invented for hypnosis. That's why they call it the tell.
It's a time portal.
Vision. You know what I'm saying?
It's a time portal, bro. It's a whole time portal into the future, into the past, into whatever. And they're basically showing it to us just like that. And that right there is a chaos for our brains.
Okay, so do you think that somehow in some type of way ties into all these different TV series and cartoons that basically seem like they be predicting the future? Mm-hmm. Like The Simpsons and Family Guy. It's through a lot of different shit on the low. You have to really have your eyes open to see a lot of it. I'm pretty sure it's some websites, if you Google it, where you can see where on TV and media and a lot of things been predicted, like 9/11 and the coronavirus and just all type of shit. So you think that shit tie in anyway? Because that shit has always been something I've been very curious on too. It's how could some shit you could see some shit 10 years and put it in your damn TV show or in your movie, your cartoon, then the actual event happened just like that, like a terrorist attack or some shit like that.
Well, tell you the truth, some stuff as far as the media I do think is staged. Some religious stuff, but we're not gonna get into that just yet. But as far as our memories and how they're wiping out our memories, yes, it's all being controlled from what we're seeing on our cell phones. It's all being controlled from what we're seeing on these televisions. It's all being controlled, mentally. It's a mental breakdown. Eventually, it's just a portal into your future in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because they're basically telling you every fucking thing that's happening in your world today, but not in their own diluted way.
I feel you. So I fuck with that. I fuck with that. Say that's a dope way of looking at shit in a way of piecing shit together. I'm gonna give you like a different, I guess, view or theory on it. One thing that I've noticed going through life and because I like to listen to a lot of science shit. And one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize that life is very relative to you in the way of you gotta understand the only way you experience life is through your body. So you only see through what you see. You only hear what you hear. You only know what you know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There is no way for you to even know if anything outside of you is truly real other than you being you, because you can only experience life through yourself and the vessel that you live in.
Fact.
So
thank you for the favor.
In saying that in a type of way, I have noticed that life is very relative to people and the outlook and the way that you live your life, and it really goes into a way where it's people really see, live, move, and do a different type of way by the way that their mind works and the way that they think on a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you an instance. You got birds. You got some birds that can fly like geese, and you got some birds that can't fly that look like geese, but they can't fly for shit. They have the same wings that can do the same shit, but they can't fly because they're too fucking stupid to know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
A whole lot different.
Type shit. And then for that other duck that can fly, he lives in a completely different world because he can go completely different places. He can interact with everything around him in a completely different way because he can leave from the ground and go take off and fly. Now he can go to a whole different place where this one can't because he's too stupid to know how to use his wings in order to be able to fly. And I say all that to say is it's all really kind of relative in the way that you see it. You know what I'm saying? For that one that's stuck on the ground, being able to lift off and go in the sky is like some God type shit. He don't even understand how the fuck does this even work if for the other one it's just some shit that you do every day.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying?
It just comes straight now.
And I say all that to say it's just
it's a control thing.
It really is a control thing, and it really is a like. You have to be careful what you let into your mind, and like, you know what I'm saying, what you watching and what you giving your time to. Because yeah, a lot of this stuff is used for control, and I definitely think they can use frequencies and ways to manipulate thought and a lot of other shit. And I think it shows. I think that's a lot of the reason why our society is so fucked up is because of the media and the shit that we ingest on a regular basis from Instagram and YouTube. Motherfuckers ever wonder why like the most heinous shit is the shit that get the most views? Like a police shooting is gonna get way more views than somebody posting their puppy all the time. You know what I'm saying? For what reason I don't know, but it's like they just feeding on people all the negativity, and it just builds and it shows in our society, and I think that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So on the Mandela Effect shit, do you believe? I mean, because like you said, you had as a teenager or a child, you had wrote, you know, articles or books or whatever, you know, essays about it in school. With your heart of hearts, do you believe Nelson Mandela died in prison?
I don't know.
You don't know what to believe.
I mean, because it's like for so long I thought that was true until I like went and researched and was like, nah, this man has been a president. Like it's in the history books. He's done these things, all this other shit past that point when he was in jail. But I thought he was in jail, so it's a lot like shit. I mean,
he was in jail. He was in prison.
You know what? Some of this shit, man, I just have to put in the category like I don't fucking know.
You don't know.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's all right. Because some of this shit, like it's some shit you gonna live and die, and you ain't gonna never really understand. That's what's kind of how life really is. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm saying the reason why I really asked you that, like, because like I say, while we on this Mandela Effect thing, like I say, a lot of people, it's over thousands, you know, that believe that Nelson Mandela died in prison.
Cause I mean, bro, it's things that have happened in my life that have happened to me that I don't even know really. Like the last podcast we talked about the horror story shit. When I think back on a lot of this shit, had you not been there to experience it with me or somebody else, that would have been another one of them things where it's like I don't really know that because it's like. It's like I was there and I lived through it, but it's so fucking crazy and it sounds so out of the normal.
I definitely
that over time you start to even question if that even really happened because it sounds so fucking crazy. But then you have a room full of people who was there, experienced it with you, and it kind of solidified the situation. And I think maybe that's the situation one of these things. It's like, hell, if I remember it and you remember it and she remembered and he remembered it, but none of us was connected at the point where we still, but once we came together, we still have this memory of all these different things from these different places. Got to be some truth to it. It's got to be some truth somewhere because I don't think it's any way possible that thousands and thousands of different people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different races, different religions can remember a thing in a certain type of way, and then somebody turn around and try to tell them like, nah, that never happened. Nah, that's almost like the UFO shit. It's like you sit in your car, you see a whole live whatever event go on in the sky, then you have a motherfucker saying like, nah, you tripping.
You tripping.
I ain't never happened. Shit.
Like, thousands of other people you're sitting there.
But you know what I'm saying? Posting the same exact shit. You know what I mean?
I understand exactly what you're saying, man. Like, that's why it's so weird, man. That's why I say I really think that it is something that they're doing to wipe out our memories for us to either learn different things in schools. That's probably the same reason why we all had different ELG color ELG papers.
And then also this, man. Things. Also this too, like I was listening to some shit about this one dude. He lived a long time. I forgot his fucking name, but he was like a prophet or some shit. Like Nostradamus and all these motherfuckers would be prophesizing on the future. You know what I'm saying? And he said like basically he would lay down and go into these comas, and he said when he went into these comas, he basically could find out anything because there is like a collective of knowledge somewhere that all of us have an ability to tap into. So basically he was trying to say that we have our own consciousness in our body, but then there's also a collective mental type of like consciousness somewhere that kind of connects everybody and everything that knows and has the knowledge about every fucking thing. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I really think is like maybe these, like they say, Illuminati motherfuckers or whatever, maybe they just fucking with the collective knowledge and all this shit. Cause it's like, bro, when you start fucking with witchcraft and symbols and like rituals and all that shit. Like people think that shit just some funny shit, but now that shit got
time
real.
warp,
That
right?
shit
With a time warp.
That shit has real fucking power. You know what I'm saying? Symbols, rituals, cult activity, all this shit has real fucking power. All that black magic shit that these motherfuckers be doing behind the scenes, they don't do that shit just to be funny. They do this shit because it gives them the power to be able to control so many fucking people. You know what I'm saying? So I think it could be that too, because I mean, I believe in black magic and shit, and I believe you can put people under spells, and like I believe you can put masses amount of people under spells through, especially music,
especially the television,
TV, but also the music. Because what people don't know, music hits on a different frequency than what you see.
Yeah, but
like music hits you on a frequency of like where you can instill shit into people through music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I understand what you're saying about the music, but the only reason why I would say the television more because everyone don't attract to the same type of music, or
Okay, no. Not even. So okay. So So it's not even. Let's not even think of.
No, hold on. Let me say. But the television, though, in a way, the news. Mm-hmm. The news is gonna attract me, you, this person.
Yeah,
person,
and that's like the news. The news is like upfront manipulation. It's like manipulation on the ground level, just taking actual shit that's facts and turning it and manipulating it. When I'm talking about like
the music,
sound,
sound.
Okay, let's not even say music. Let's just say sound. So
like
going along with the TV, the visual, the actual sound, like bro, you being an engineer, you know like frequencies, hertz, sound waves, how sound can be manipulated and how those waves, like when music come out of speaker, you don't just hear it, it push through your body. Yeah. Like the waves, that bass, it push through your body, and if you know how to program the frequencies and put different notes and different things into that and shit like into that, and you passing all them waves through people's bodies at higher rates of speed, you can definitely manipulate a motherfucking mind and all this shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I say. I totally understand what you're saying about the music shit, man. It's a powerful tool, man. Like, and I think that's another way that they transition with this Mandela Effect term. You know, like even the things that we remember on the music, things like they'll wipe that shit out of our memory too. And the people that we know that was a music artist, and they'll, change this whole person's persona up, and he won't even be the same person anymore. So, like, it's tragic on how it's so true. It's so true. It's the frequencies that they put out. It's so true. I understand what you're saying, brother. I understand.
That shit. Man,
it's lit.
Man, you gotta stay woke out here, man. It's like, it's like, man, do what you do, live your life, but man, stay woke. Don't let these motherfuckers trick you, cause this goddamn, it's definitely a lot of bullshit out this motherfucker, man. And to speak on that, it was like, man, like this Mandela shit, I think it got a lot to do with hypnosis too, man.
It's
like,
all hypnosis.
I'm gonna say some real shit. Like my uncle took me.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
My uncle took me to Las Vegas when I was 16. You know what I'm saying, for one of his birthdays and shit. So, you know what I'm saying, I was already grown looking, so they let me in the casino and shit. So I'm in the casino, so they had this magician in the casino, and I don't think he was like a big famous magician, and he was just, I guess, a Las Vegas magician. So he picked this lady out of the crowd, and when he picked the lady out of the crowd, she came and she sat into the chair, and then he basically put her under a spell, and she just started orgasming, like I'm talking about, bitch started sweating. She like on the stage, he got her in the chair. He like every time I snap my fingers twice, you're gonna have the greatest orgasm in your life. You know what I'm saying? He like put his finger on the head, and she just like, like, and it's a room full of fucking people. I'm talking about what Shawty said. This motherfucker like, you can't fake no orgasm like that. I'm talking about Shawty like toes curling up, eyes rolling back, shit. This motherfucker like yo, like she just had the best nut in her fucking life. You know what I'm saying? I'm you can really like fuck with people's mind if you know how to do this goddamn you know what I'm saying?
It's all about manipulating the mind, man. Tonight's subject, baby, we talking about the Mandela Effect. We're talking about the power of manipulating someone's mind control, false memories, things that people probably remember. Thousands of people probably remember the same thing, but the people that created it are saying that it never happened, it never existed, but we all know, one thing.
But you know what though, man? That's why I don't even put so much stock in like history and shit, cause I be like,
history is meant to be changing.
Who the fuck knows what really went the fuck on, man? You got motherfuckers trying to tell you all these things that happened all these fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like half of the shit that go on in your real life, you don't even know if some of this shit been happening for real.
Exactly.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's wild as fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, you say put you on about the Mandela Effect. Like, well, damn, we was just, we just went
All right,
into
so
those segments,
basically, the Mandela Effect. All right, what the reason it's called the Mandela Effect is because it's like collective memories, and like for this instance, everybody remembered that Nelson Mandela had died in prison. Because, everybody, he was like an activist over there in Africa. He was trying to free African slaves and all this stuff. So he ended up going to jail. And there's millions and millions of people who remember him as dying in prison. When he actually never died in prison.
He actually came out of prison.
He came out of prison, became the president of Africa, and did all this shit after that. But it's millions of people who will basically sit here and tell you that, he died in prison.
Not just that he died in prison. They're saying, I attended this man's funeral.
I
documented this man's funeral. I saw his casket come down the street and people marching for this man. And people are trying to say, well, not even people. The media basically said, well, Nelson Mandela died in 2013 and he got out of prison and became the president of South Africa and, lived a happy life after that. But we all had memories. Even here in America, we were taught that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Mm-hmm. We were taught that by teachers.
Shit, just like we was taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America, and that was definitely a lot. Yeah. One day in the future, that's gonna be some Mandela Effect shit. It's gonna be people remembering that. They're gonna be like, nah, nobody ever told you that. You're a liar. You know what I'm saying? That's how they gonna try to do that shit too. Yep. Man, what if it's just the fucking Matrix? What if it's just all the fucking Matrix? What if we all just live in a big ass fucking computer?
I used to have conversations with someone about that too, and I said, my real opinion about life right now is what I'm seeing is that we're all stuck in a matrix. We're all in these little tubes hooked up to these machines, and we're floating around in these tubes, and we have these things over our heads where we're basically seeing all this stuff.
So
and
you
feeling
saying you saying mentally, or like you physically think there are people somewhere in tubes with their minds hooked up to machines, and we are all just living in some, or you saying like in a mental type of way? You know what I'm saying?
No, I say physically.
Physically.
They're sitting in tubes and we're actually not, this isn't real. That's why they say when you die, some people believe that when you die, you don't really go to heaven or hell. A lot of people believe that. They say when you die, that's why they say you rest in peace, before, after someone dies or whatever. And because basically they fall asleep, an eternal sleep. They never physically descend or ascend into heaven or hell.
But okay, you know what? We need to do one. We're gonna do a podcast just on life after death. You know what I'm saying? And like what people think about as far as that, because it's like I have a different interpretation. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like that's a long situation. I don't feel like going to that. But I definitely feel where you coming on. That's crazy, but it's like it's so crazy it could be true. Because it's like we sit here right now and me and you, we play video games as completely different characters in complete full cities and cars and shootouts with all complete other people. Is it so far-fetched to think 200 years into the future when it's 222, 21, whatever the fuck the date is, that now they have it to where this VR shit now that not only can you see it, but you can feel it, you can taste it, you can touch it, and you don't even really know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
that's how I say it's so
fucking
weird, man. Like, it's all
about
your
weird.
memory, bro. It's all about your memory. It's all about what you learn.
But what even is your memory? Because, like, bro, at a certain point, like, you don't remember, like, how it was before you was born or, like, anything. So your memory has a certain point anyway to where you can't remember shit past that anyway.
I can remember, like, a lot of my childhood. I have a firm remembrance of, because I went through a lot of shit, growing up. I saw a lot of shit. So I know I have a firm memory on shit. But I understand what you're saying.
I don't keep it real, cause like I used to think I had like a firm memory, but then it's like you see shit and it's just like life's so fucking crazy. Other shit I just like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck going on. I just live my life and I just enjoy life. I think that is kind of the purpose of life. Like some of this shit you can't think too hard on it. Because at the end of the day, can't nobody tell you that they know. For sure. Anybody, we can all speculate and we can all like talk about it, but don't nobody really know for sure what happened when you died. Don't nobody know for sure, like, you know what I'm saying, what the fuck our existence really even is and what, you know what I'm saying, is outside of what's going on here. You know what I mean? Who the fuck? So you could be right. We could be all people. Maybe not even just in a fucking pod playing a fucking game, and then you come out that motherfucker, you a whole different person. You walk off with your life. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I think it's good to leave the options open, because the worst thing you can do is close your mind off. I've seen so many people that close their mind off to the possibilities, and it stalemates your life. It makes it, because when you just like, oh, I think I know everything, and I think I have just, I can't learn no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those people I've seen that think like they be stuck. You know what I'm saying? They be stuck.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Hey, it's natural. Yes, baby. That's another thing that we were talking about early on the Mandela Effect. That's another thing that I had ran by him too, about the Jiffy versus the Jif peanut butter thing and the Bearstein Bears and things like that.
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
Now, I remember Jiffy. I remember
No,
Jiffy.
bro. I'm talking about to this fucking day.
I remember
No, I'm talking about to
Jiffy,
this fucking day. I think I have some Jiffy in my fucking cabinet.
I remember Jiffy, but they say it's just Jif. They say it's just Jif. It's never been Jiffy. They don't know where the fuck we saw that at, why they... Nah, bro, I promise.
Nah, bro. If I go to the fucking crib and I pull some Jiffy out, everybody remember.
That's all I remember in the crib, cause like we had Jiffy in the crib.
I remember. Okay, this is what I remember. There was Jiffy and Jif. Listen. I remember Jif. I remember Jif, cause I remember. Okay, cause I've been in Charlotte all my life, and I remember back in the day, there used to be this big fucking sign right there by the Panther Stadium. You was go up the highway, and it used to be it was a Jif peanut butter, so it was JIFF, and it was like red, blue, green, like in the little squares. But then there's also Jiffy, and it's like blue. It comes in a blue peanut butter thing, and it's got like, it's spelled in like cursive. It say Jiffy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I never.
Man, where the phone at, man? Hold on.
Hey, how you doing, baby?
Where the fuck is my phone at, man?
Nah, cuz I'm telling before we pull the phone out, I'm gonna be honest. No, cuz like, I remember nothing but Jiffy. And then I remember a change in the shit. I remember seeing it change. But although it changed, I looked at the change as if, okay, it's just advertisement purposes.
Can you pull your phone out right now? I just need to know.
I thought it was nothing but advertisement purposes.
I just need to know.
And with the advertisement purposes, I thought it came with a new look. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody else would. So with the new look comes with good advertisement. But they say that, dog, that shit ain't never fucking been no Jiffy, dog. They say it's never in life been Jiffy. It's always been Jif. They say the Bearstein Bears, bruh. Do you see how easily I'm saying Bearstein Bears, bruh? I ain't never said Bearstein Bears, bruh. I never said
right.
It don't sound right, dog. I never said those are the Bearstein. Bruh, that's the writer of the whole thing. The writer of the whole thing said it never was Bearstein Bears, even though I know. I used to watch these faux-ass fucking bears climbing this goddamn treehouse, and the thing come out of there and say Bearstein Bears on there. I knew it did. You're not gonna tell me I can't read. You ain't gonna tell me 1,000 million people across the world cannot read. You know what I'm saying? Even though pronunciation, you can pronounce it Bearstein Bears, Bearstein Bears. Nah, I ain't never seen no Stein in that shit. It didn't say Stein anything. It said Steen, cuz.
That shit wild, man.
It's wild, cuz.
That shit wild, man.
That's why I'm like,
it's
the Matrix, cuz they wiping our memories, cuz they taking out our memories, our childhood memories, the things that we know is right. The things we know is right. But they'll tell us all this fuck shit is real. They'll tell us all this fuck shit real, but Jiffy can't be real, cuz. She can't be real.
Man, that's why I be like, bro, I like to watch so much weird shit and listen to some of the documentaries. I be like, man, I don't know what the fuck is real no more. The only thing I know is real. I like getting money.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you how I know Bearstein Bears wasn't Bearstein Bears. Look, man, I had a little VHS tape, and my grandma used to have like fucking 13, 14 of these fucking tapes, and they all had the same. You cannot tell me that somebody came into my house, took the name off the motherfucking thing, and pronounced it something different in over 1 million people have.
I mean, cuz, is it any crazy to think about this? Think about this. You go to a Christian church right now. Jesus is white with long hair, and that is obviously not the truth. Because from where he came from and the time that there is no impossibility that he could be a white man with those features, but somehow they made that true and real. So that's almost a Mandela effect that you can but you can also kind of wrap your mind around it. Like that's how easy information can flip and things can be changed. So that's how you know that this shit is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you lived in that time, the motherfucker would say like, nah, man, Jesus was black or he was what the fuck ever. He definitely wasn't the fuck white. You know what I'm saying? He definitely wasn't white. But right now, Jesus white. Everywhere you go, Jesus is white. You know what I'm saying? Man, so that just show you how information can be changed that quick just to make you something that you already know is not fucking true. It's an impossibility, but you gonna accept it because that he gonna say that's what it is. He gonna say that's what it is, and even against your better judgment, you gonna say, all right, well, it must be because there's so many people saying that's what it is, and that's how they fuck you with this shit.
I'm gonna be real.
That's how they fuck you with.
I'm gonna be absolutely real, cause nah, you ain't gonna trick up a nigga like me. I see.
But you rare.
I'm a woke ass nigga.
But you rare. But it's like everybody not like you. Like the majority of the people are the majority of the masses are very susceptible to whatever what people think. The majority and all these different things. That's why the world's so crazy because people will flow with the majority. They don't flow with the truth.
Well, you guys know
they flow with the majority. You know what I mean?
Y'all better wake the fuck up quick then, man, because that's a lesson for you all in a nutshell, my nigga. You don't be part of the majority.
I look at it like this, man. We on episode what? Five? Right, yeah, man. So if you still here with us, you woke by now. I know you know. You know what I'm saying? It's there to open. I already know, man. You still here fucking with us right now.
Man.
You know some
real,
shit,
man.
We
That's
stay
absolutely
dishing
real,
out fucking knowledge, man.
Man, the government is fucking with us, man. I'm trying to tell you, the government been fucking with us. I'm trying to tell you, eventually, all this coronavirus shit that we know of, they gonna say that shit never happened to. That in the future, what our kids know, I'm like, nah, that shit ain't never happened. Shit ain't never popped off like that. Like, what the fuck them people talking about? And
even deeper than that. You go to the caves and you go back to the ancestors and you look at all these things on the cave walls and they're gonna tell you what, it was snake-headed people, it was dog-headed people, it was motherfuckers that was doing magic and all this shit. But hold on, but you gonna tell, but right now you would tell them, them people didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. That's all that wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? They expect us to accept that, so that's like some Mandela Effect shit.
See, what I believe with as far as like the Egyptian stuff, what you hitting on, what you hitting on with the Egyptian stuff, see, that was creation of, things that they represented as what gods they represented. Those were masks and things that they decorated themselves with. So no, they wasn't physical human dogs.
Oh, no.
But they were drawing pictures of these people like that, though, right?
I ain't even talking Egyptian, cuz. I'm talking about as a whole.
Let me get them up now. See, I gotta get them on
we gotta talk about, if anybody know about the Sumerians. If don't nobody know about the Sumerians, you need to look that up. That's the first African culture. That's the first real civilization that came up that they got history. That's where the actual Bible comes from. The Old Testament Bible came from the Sumerian people. You know what I'm saying? And you want to talk about the Aztec people, the people who made the calendars, you know what I'm saying? The fucking Mexicans in South America who was doing all that shit that people thought the world was going in because they did. All of these people who were smart enough to do all of these things, somehow we just assume that these people don't know what the fuck they talking about. And they just seem crazy to me. It's like, you were all the way back this far along, but you done made these big ass buildings. You know what's going on in space. You got a concept of what the fuck going on in space and all this other shit. But somehow we look at them and we're like, oh nah, they was just doing all these things to represent this, that, and the other, and the third. It's like, nah, when we build statues of people. We build statues of the things that we, you know what I'm saying? So why is it to assume that they didn't do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Maybe the world was just different. And maybe it was different type of beings, animals, all these different things going around the world. Why would we not assume that over just assuming they didn't know what the fuck they was talking about? Because it varied from what I see. They know what the fuck they was talking about.
I mean, cause
in a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying? They weren't no stupid people. You know what I mean?
They had a lot of knowledge. Like I say, man, it's all about what they want to wipe out, what they want to keep. They let us remember dumb shit like that, you know what I'm saying, but won't let us remember whether Nelson Mandela actually died in prison or became the president and died after that. It's a small motherfucking equation into this big ass motherfucking world that we living in, cuz. And I really appreciate you coming through talking about this shit, man.
Oh yeah, we are the gas, brother.
On
we
the
are
fucking
the gas,
gas,
man.
at
Thank
all
y'all for
fucking
coming
time,
through, man.
I would like everybody at this moment to go ahead, head to YouTube, type in On the Gas Podcast. First thing you do, you hit that subscribe button.
Hit that.
Then you hit that like button. And I want you guys to stay notified on everything, every topic that we got, man.
Oh
We
yeah,
are
man.
On the Gas Podcast.
We're gonna do this as much as possible, man. Make sure y'all check us out on Spotify. Make sure y'all check us out on the Anchor app. Make sure you check us on Apple Podcasts. We're trying to put this thing everywhere, man. We're gonna do this as much as possible, man. We love y'all. Like my man said, subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram. Rockstar_plug. Hit my man up, King Juby. Hit the one with the crown on it.
You already
We're the
know.
On the Gas Podcast. Thank y'all for coming through. And we out.